Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares a story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram at justkeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we're back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 1-3, dropping hot beats for the city as always. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to have a quick talk about the Thieves of Joy. So, big shout out to Melisha, because she always said it on her episodes that comparison is the thief of joy, which is an amazing quote. I always love to hear it because it makes so much sense. Because when you compare yourself to others, you stop looking at on how valuable and special you are personally, and you always want to try to be like somebody else, and always trying to keep up with the Joneses or be like Mike. It's not good for you, and all it's going to do is just take away your joy and your happiness, because you're never going to feel fine with who you are until you get to their level, So, but with that saying though, something else came to my mind of like, what are some other thieves of joy, So I kind of wrote down a few things for you guys just to share. One of the other thieves of joy that I came across was rushing. So I kind of feel like anytime somebody is rushing, they're not joyful. I've never seen a joyful person in a rush. Like, yes, you do see people happy trying to get somewhere, excitement trying to get somewhere on time. Like you see the person about to have their baby for the first time, they're all excited, rushing, trying to get to the hospital or something like that, But a lot of times though, when we're in a rush, we're not joyful. We're irritated, we're aggravated, we're upset because we have to be somewhere by a certain time. We have to do something by a certain time. And when we rush, we start to make mistakes. We start to, lose track of things. Even when we do stuff like out the norm, I feel like, recently there's been a lot of breakouts, and I feel like we're having more breakouts because they're always trying to rush on how food is created and how food is going to be processed faster, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that always leads to more headaches, more issues, just more problems, because we're rushing. We're trying to do things faster than it needs to be done. And we have to learn to stop and take our time. Even if you are late, it's okay. But don't rush there, because when you rush there, that's when you lose sight of traffic. That's when you lose sight of the small things. You might miss that stop sign, not see that person cross the street because you're trying to get somewhere. And it leads you to being more aggressive as well. Like I notice when I feel rushed, I get super duper irritated. Definitely if I feel somebody else is rushing me for something that I feel like shouldn't be rushed, There's plenty of times where I'm heading to work and I'm running late to work. And now it goes from a joyful morning to a aggravated morning because I'm trying to rush somewhere to beat the clock to be somewhere. And it's like every time I rush, I know my joy is gone, because once I'm rushing, I'm not happy that I'm rushing. I hate rushing. I hate feeling that feeling of, I have to be somewhere by a certain time. Yes, driving fast is fun. Yes, playing video games at a high intense speed is fun. Speed running can be fun, but the feeling of rushing, that's never good. Like even if I play like Call of Duty or something, I'm trying to rush through a level. That's when I die the most, and I just keep, messing up and missing things because I'm rushing. So let's try not to rush, because rushing is going to steal your joy. And the next thing that I had for you guys was actually forcing things. So I do feel that when you try to force things to happen, it doesn't work, one. And then two, because we're trying to force something, we lose our joy as well, because we're trying to make something happen instead of letting things happen naturally, you know. I feel like it's equivalent to trying to force something to cook. You can't force nothing to cook faster, and if you do try to force it to cook faster, you may mess up the food, you know, because you can turn the pan up too high and burn the outside of your food, and your inside of the food is still raw because you tried to rush the process. You try to force the cooking process to get done in time, and all that do is just irritate you, you know. People out there with kids, you know, anytime you try to force an idea down somebody's throat, definitely when your kid's throat, you know, it causes more aggravation than relaxation, because, you know, you're trying to force an idea that people aren't getting. And then when, you know, it's time for them to practice and they're still not understanding it, you get even more irritated, you know. Like, I kind of felt like that when I was younger a lot. My dad used to force me to take over the spelling test over and over and over until I got it right, and then I'll go to school the next day and I still wouldn't get it proper, you know. I still wouldn't pass the test with 100% even though I studied all night. But why didn't I get that? Because it was being forced, you know what I'm saying? I was being forced to get it right, not being taught to get it right or just going with the flow properly, you know. Because I'm trying to force it, I'm trying to force knowledge is trying to be forced into my head. I didn't get it right, I didn't understand it, you know. So that's one thing I want to share. And then the also thing I want to share is I share a lot, too much negative digestion. So a lot of times, you know, definitely like the news and stuff, the news talks about bad things all day long. You know, Donald Trump is always in the news. There's been wars going on, tsunamis, national disasters. There's so much going on. And, you know, the news is really good for stealing your joy away, because it just focuses on so much negative, and you're intaking all that negative, and all that's going to do is just irritate you and just take away your joy, your positivity, make you look at the world in a darker place and not trust people, things like that, you know. So, you know, make sure we watch what we're taking in food wise, everything, you know, make sure we get enough sleep, make sure we eat, because all those things can cause joy, can take away your joy. Being hungry can take away your joy. Like, you ever been hungry and trying to sit through a meeting, man, you get irritated on everything that person may say, you know. So taking care of your body, not taking care of your body properly, can bring unjoy, you know, and that leads with sickness. And when you're sick, you're never joyful when you're sick. Yes, you may not have to go home, or may have to go to work, but at the same time, you're not feeling well, your head hurt, your stomach hurt, you know, you can't sleep properly, you're sweating, who knows what it could be that happens when you're sick, you know. But, you know, that right there is not joy. Like, we already know that being sick is never joyful. Yes, not having to go somewhere, not having to drive, people probably pampering you to, you may feel joyful, but besides that, we know that joy does not come from being sick. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my quick talk for you guys today. What are the thieves that are stealing your joy away? You know, is it you being sick? Is it you not taking care of your body? Are you rushing? Do you feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses? Are you trying to play a role that you feel like you shouldn't play, or a role that you don't want to be in? Are you doing things that you don't want to do, that's not in your cup of tea, that you just feel like, you know, this ain't for me and I hate doing this, but I feel like I have to do this? You don't have to do nothing, first and foremost, but when you have that feeling of you have to do it, that can steal your joy too, you know. So that's all I want to talk about today. Real quick topic, and just something to help you guys think about, like, what is something that happens in the world that takes away your joy, and why does it take away your joy? You know, a lot of times we see what it is, but we don't realize why it is, and when we understand that why, so much more answers can come to us. So let's try to figure out what that why is. Why did my joy get taken away today? What happened to cause this? But yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that made sense. Anything you guys want to share with us, you already know you can send it out to us, and we'll always appreciate the insight, the information, you know, your perspective. We always appreciate the criticism, so thank you for everything. But with all that being said, we hope you guys have a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.